you sure about that? Can he say become a tree and then say, because now I'm a tree, I don't know?
Okay, now we have to know where again.
Because I'm saying I don't know. No.
The God that we believe in, can he become a tree and then God says, I don't know now because I'm a tree?
No.
Can he become a woman and say, I don't know because I'm a woman?
No, of course not.
Can he become a man and say, I don't know because I'm a man? What do you believe about God? Do you believe God is one or three in one?
Of course, it's not one God, It's not the God of Bible. It's not the God of Quran or you always worship. For example, so many people say, I created you to worship me. Allah doesn't need us to worship us.
So what is the name of your God that you call upon? What do you call upon him?
God.
Does he have a name?
Yeah.
What is his name?
You can, for example, in Arabic,
No,
you say,
what do you say? You.
I say in my language, Khuda.
Khuda.
You know, yeah.
Okay. And tell me more about this Khuda. Did he send revelation?
No.
He didn't send revelation. So how do people know about him?
No, brother, I don't want to be in the camera.
He doesn't want to be in the camera, sorry. So,
Yeah. No, it's different, it's different. Okay, yeah.
he doesn't want to be in the camera.
Yeah.
How do you know what Khuda wants from us? Why did the Khuda create us?
Yes, that's very simple. This God created us. That's
Why?
all. Not create to
Why?
worship Him.
Why?
To
Why?
all
Why?
the day, yeah.
Why did
If you
Khuda
worship-
create us?
No, if you
No,
worship
don't
God.
say if. If Khuda created us,
Yeah,
did he give you a reason why he created us?
yeah, to live in this world.
Where did he give the reason? Where did he tell you?
Nowhere.
Nowhere. So you don't know why
we
he
know,
created
yeah,
you.
we automatically we know there is God. Everybody they know.
Do you automatically know why he created you?
Yes. Yeah, we know.
No. When you say we, you can only speak for your own self.
Yeah.
Because I have difference of understanding
yeah,
than you.
Yeah, I know, of course.
Right.
I know there is
Right.
God.
So,
yes.
why did Khuda create us?
To live in this world.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Where?
You mean in the no? There is no revelation. There is no book about God.
When you say Khuda wants us to do this, he created for this reason,
Yeah.
are you making this up? Or did Khuda communicate with us in a way?
No.
Right. So you have no clue why Khuda created you.
Yeah, to live in this world.
No. When you say yeah, how do you know yeah? How do you know that? Did he tell you that?
No. That's automatically.
No. That's what you think. Automatically means that's what you think.
Yeah.
And you can be wrong in your thinking.
Yeah.
Right. So you're not sure why he created you then.
I am sure he created.
How did you
us.
become sure?
Our logic says. Our logic.
So your logic
Yes.
tells you why he created you.
Yeah. To live in this world. To be
Your
free.
logic.
Yes.
Yeah? Did he tell you that your logic will be right always?
Not always. Yeah, but most of the time is right.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Right. Then why did he leave to your logic, which most of the time can be right, but sometimes can be wrong? This time you can be wrong, using your logic incorrectly.
Yeah, that's different topic. That's very, I don't want to complicate this, this argument. You go that side, you say this. Very simple. God created us, He threw us in the air. That is all. He said, go and live your life. That's all.
When you say He said, go and live your life,
Yes.
where did He say that?
Nowhere.
Nowhere. So you are playing God now. You are saying on behalf of God, go and do everything.
Yeah. No, according to logic or something.
No.
Use your brain.
God didn't tell you that directly. So you are speaking on behalf of God.
Yes, yeah. Of course I can say behalf of God. Not behalf of God, but my own.
Yeah. So you're speaking on behalf of God. God got what wants. And you're not even certain this is what God said or not. Is it possible you may be misleading people because you think this is what God said?
Yeah.
Yeah. So is this a good way of living life?
misleading people.
Not even being sure why God created you.
I'm sure. You are sure. I am sure. Everybody
No,
today.
you're not sure, you said. Because you're using your logic.
Yeah.
And sometimes your logic can be wrong, you said. So you're not 100% sure. You're not absolutely sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not. Because you said your logic can be wrong sometimes.
Yeah.
Right. So, does this Khuda communicate?
Not with human.
How do you know?
Yeah, I know.
How do you know?
According to book, according to Bible, according to Quran, according to all religious
But you don't believe in these
scripture.
books, do you?
No, I.
You don't believe in them? Yeah. So how do you know the Khuda, the creator, God,
Yeah.
communicates to us or not? How do you know? Do you have a basis of where you can confirm what you believe is actually something that is correct? Because you are just making up your belief based on your logic. So your logic is the arbiter, the decider, one who decides of what to believe and what to believe. Your logic may be different than mine.
Yeah.
Yeah? So if I said, no, I am not going to base my belief based on my logic, and you said you're going to base your belief based on your logic, then how can we have the truth?
There is no. Yeah. But yeah, I know, I understand. You mean the truth is the Quran, yeah?
How do we know the truth?
Yeah,
It's
there
the
is no-
question.
yeah, that's everything you see, that's true.
What do you
Everything
mean?
you see, that's true.
When you die,
Yeah.
where do you go?
Yeah, we don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody can.
You can speak for your own self.
Yeah.
If you say you don't know, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't.
Don't say I don't know,
Yeah.
because you don't know what I know.
Yes, I don't.
Right. So you don't know what happens after death.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah,
Is there life after death?
maybe.
So you don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Right.
Yeah, I cannot say. I don't know. Maybe.
What if there is a life after death? What if there is a day of judgment? What if there is heaven and hell? What's going to happen to you?
Yeah, if there is life, I will go to direct to heaven.
What if there was a purpose of this life? And what if you failed that purpose because you did not look for it?
No, I don't think.
No,
I'm
that's
sure.
what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Because I haven't.
What if you die and you find out that there was a purpose of this life and you fail to fulfill that purpose? And because of that, you are going to go to hell.
No, I never.
Because you rejected the purpose that was already spoken about by this Khuda, which you didn't even bother. What are you going to do then?
No, I never fail. If there is God, if there is day of judgment, I will go to heaven. There is no.
So you think if there was God and day of judgment,
Yeah.
God will put you in heaven?
Yes.
What have you done? Have you listened to him?
Yeah, I haven't killed anybody. I haven't steal anything. I haven't.
Have you followed him? Have you worshipped him?
Yeah, sometimes. No, not all. Little.
If you do not
Yeah.
submit and surrender to Khuda,
Yeah.
why should he give you paradise and heaven?
Because
Why should he reward you with heaven when you did not fulfill the purpose of your creation?
if I pray, if I submit to God, He will be happy.
Not about being happy. This is all about you, whether you deserve to go to heaven or hell. If you work for a company, right? Do you expect wages after the end of the month or something? Right?
Yeah, but it's different.
So that's the
yeah.
contract
Yeah.
that you have. If God created you and told you that this is what you have to do,
Yeah.
and if you do it, this is what the reward you will have. But if you don't do and do something opposite, then this is the bad consequences that you're going to have.
Brother, that's,
Would you listen to God?
Yeah.
Khuda?
Yeah, that is big different. You work for wage and you are going to heaven. Or that's different issue.
Do you think God created you for no purpose?
Yeah, to live in this world.
To live. How?
How you live.
Which law? What is the law of God in this world?
The law of God is to live happy, to be
When you say to live happy, to this,
justice.
how do you know this is the law of God?
Yeah, that's our logic. When
That's
he
your
created-
logic.
You know, when he created us and he put everything here in our brain. Yeah,
So-
but there is
so-
long history we talk about. For example, before 2,000 years ago was different God. This is a lot of story. I cannot tell everything in 30 minutes. I cannot. You know,
So God doesn't send prophets and messengers. Khuda doesn't send prophets and messengers?
according to my own opinion, no.
No. So he leaves people with their own logic. And with their own logic, they become atheists. They become deists. They become pantheists. They become Christians. They become Sikhs. They become many, many religions.
Yes.
Right. So all of these people,
Yeah.
they follow different path and different way with your logic.
Yeah.
And God's going to be happy with them.
Yes. You are. Yeah.
So if someone insults God,
Yeah. Yes.
he'll be happy too.
I don't think insulting some is nothing for God. It's nothing for God.
You can't speak on behalf of God, right? That's one thing you need to understand. So don't say, oh,
If someone insult God, God has power to destroy this man. Yeah.
and God will be happy
Anybody.
with him and God will put him into paradise.
Yeah, he can destroy in
No,
this
no, no.
world. Yeah.
If someone insults God, you would say God will be so happy he will put him into paradise.
Yeah, because God has mercy. He will put him in paradise. Yeah.
Yeah, even though someone insults God.
Yeah.
So is it, if God is indifferent, doesn't matter what you believe about him, doesn't matter what you do, as long as your logic tells you what to do and you do it, God is happy with that. What's the point of believing in anything? What's the point of being good or bad? What's the point of being honest or truthful? What's the point of being sincere? What's the point of being just? What's the point of being forgiving, compassionate, merciful? What's the point? You can do anything and everything and God will put into paradise. That's your logic.
Yeah, the logic is what you are talking about. It's, that is...
Do you think the good and the bad are equal?
Of course not.
Of course not. But according to God, the good and the bad are equal, you were saying.
No.
You were saying the good and the bad, the all
According to your
and...
logic, for example, there is bad and there is good. There is
Is there,
positive and
is
negative.
there good and bad in this world?
Yes, of course.
Good. Those people who do bad, is God going to reward them with paradise or is going to be just and punish them?
No, of course not.
Right. So how does one know what is good and what is bad?
How?
How does one know and be sure what is good and what is bad? Because if bad people are going to be punished in the afterlife, then people should stop being bad. People should know what bad is. Is calling God a monkey good or bad? Is believing God is a monkey god or an elephant god good or bad? Is believing God has a son or a daughter or a wife good or bad?
I don't know about this.
Right. So it's important for us to know these things. And this is why, my friend, God, Khuda, sends prophets and messengers. They are people who are righteous, truthful, upright, and God speaks through them,
How do you
telling
know?
us, because that's what's happened throughout history. God appoints prophets and messengers and tells people through them who God is, what is good, what is bad, and what we're supposed to do.
How long do we
That is just.
Yeah. How long do we live? How long do we live in this world, humanity?
Very short life.
No. I mean all the human. How long? How many thousand years they live?
I don't know.
Let's say 4,000. Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Why you don't have? For example, Muslim 1,400. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I mean.
Muslims started with the first man
yeah,
God
well,
created.
No. That's maybe. But
It's not maybe. That's our belief.
if really he was the real God, the powerful God, he can give us this Quran, for example, 4,000 years ago.
The real God gave revelation,
Yeah.
guidance, prophethood, messengership to people in the past, and they had their proof and evidence. So when, for example, God made Moses a prophet of God? God gave him the evidence so that people can believe in him.
He was very aggressive prophet, yeah.
No,
According
you
to Torah, yeah.
think he's aggressive because you have a story about him
Yeah,
from
I
a
know.
corrupted source. People have often corrupted the source of these prophets and messengers, revelation and their stories. The history people have changed, and that is why the Quran is now working as a criterion, a muhaiminan, what we call a safeguard, quality control, being the final revelation from God, telling people what was the message sent to people before and what is the message now and for all times. Consistent message that you have been created for a purpose, and that purpose is to submit and surrender to His will, not that you become arrogant, because He gave you life as a trust, so that you have taken this life a trust from God and fulfill the purpose, the amount of time that you have in this life. And He has given us the teachings in which we can truly live our life in this world, fulfilling that purpose that He wants us to do. And then if we do this, He guarantees and promises us with rewards in heaven, in paradise and hereafter. A life with no end, continuous living without an end of joy, tranquility, happiness and bliss. Would you not want that life?
How do you know this we are going to happen? How do you know this purpose?
You
How do you know?
need
Nobody
to
come
follow.
from almost 50 billion people died. No one come from out.
Every single human, every single individual has to fulfill the purpose by following the laws of God, laws of Khuda. Yep. If you fulfill this, God has promised us the reward, and He has promised us to save us from the punishment of hellfire.
Brother, nobody knows. Why not?
What do you mean nobody knows?
Nobody knows we are going to paradise or hell. Nobody knows.
God
Most
has
people, they are agnostic today.
promised us. If you live your life accordingly, this way,
Yeah.
the way of the prophet and messenger, then the guarantee is there that you will be saved from the hellfire and you will be rewarded with an eternal happiness in hereafter. How to live our life is to then accept the guidance from Khuda, to accept this guidance and to follow it. The question you may ask is, how do I know this book is from Khuda?
Yeah.
That is the question you should be asking. Now ask yourself this question. A book from God must be free from errors and contradictions. A book from God must demonstrate that it is from God.
No, there is contradiction in the Quran.
Can you give me some examples?
But I will bring if you want.
If you cannot do it now, it's no point saying there is.
Yeah, there is, because I don't know which
There is no
part. I
point
have
saying
to
it.
get, I have
No,
to
there is
bring
no
all.
point saying there is when you cannot provide anything.
For example,
If you cannot provide anything,
Yes,
it's better
no.
not to say that there is.
no. For example, chopping hands in the Quran.
Yeah, chopping hands.
Cutting hands in the Quran. You think that is right, that is logic? Of course not.
Okay, let's understand something. If
That
a
is
criminal,
unacceptable
let's understand something using logic, right?
That's unacceptable.
Let's understand something. Logic,
There is
logic, logic.
without explaining, just
Let's
cutting
let's
man, woman. Yeah.
let's use logic.
Yeah.
Someone murders your mother,
Yeah. That's not about
and
murdering, that's about
and the
stealing.
punishment is giving that murderer
Death, yeah.
£1 million money and a boat to have a cruise in the Mediterranean with whatever he wants. Is this an appropriate, just punishment for murdering your mother?
Of course.
So what should be done to this individual?
or to put in prison
Why?
20 years, or
Why?
to kill
Why?
them, or
Why?
execute.
He should not be touched. He should be rewarded.
Why? No, that's not logic.
Okay, so logic means
Yeah.
that he has done something wrong
Yeah.
and he needs to be punished for the wrong.
No, not hard punished, you know?
Not punished?
No, that our...
Punish or no punishment? Which one?
No, no. Our topic
What does
is
logic
about
say?
stealing, about
Before we go
cutting
into
hands.
stealing,
Yeah.
we need to understand the concept of
Yeah.
punishment, concept
Punish,
of wrong. Killing your mother,
Yeah.
was it right or wrong?
Of
Good or
course,
bad?
Of course, wrong.
Wrong.
Yes.
So does this wrong thing requires some kind of retribution, some kind of punishment, some kind
Punishment.
punishment?
Yeah.
Right. Is punishment something that is always nice?
Of course, nice. Yeah, yeah.
Nice. So if I punish that individual
Yeah,
by
that's more-
giving that individual £1 million and send him to a cruise in the Mediterranean,
Of course
is
not.
that a punishment?
No, no, of course not.
Why not?
That's rewarding. You know?
So punishment is something that maybe
We should put in prison or 20 years. We should.
wait.
execute. Yeah.
What is punishment? When you say you want to punish someone,
Yeah. I want to
what
put in
are you?
prison, Yeah.
No,
20
forget
years.
about putting prison.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do with punishment? What is this punishment?
Punishment is like how he killed. Yeah, how he killed.
He
my
kills
mother.
someone
Yeah,
which you
someone
think
killed
is
and we wanna
bad,
punish them.
but
That's
you
all.
want to
Just
punish.
finish it, yeah.
So I say punishment is giving this person £1 million and sending him to a cruise in the
That's
Mediterranean.
not punishment. That's
Why is it not punishment?
that.
What does
that-
punishment
that's
do to?
rewarding, that's-
What does punishment do to an individual?
Punishment is he should suffer. That's all.
Suffering. So that individual may suffer.
Yeah.
Right. So
The
suffer
same he did. We should do
this
the same.
because he made your mom killed,
Yes.
suffering,
Yes.
and made you suffer.
Yeah.
Right. So there's some element of suffering inflicted in return.
Yeah.
Yeah? And you have no problem with that.
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, yeah. We should punish them. We should kill
So
them. Yeah.
suffering the criminal
Yeah.
through the eyes of justice
Yeah, yeah.
is no problem with you.
No.
Right. Now, suffering, I think putting someone in prison is not suffering. I may say so, because that person has a luxurious lifestyle. He has his own home in the prison. He has his own TV. He has his own food. He doesn't have to work. It could be like that. That
Yeah,
doesn't
today,
seem like
yeah.
that doesn't seem like suffering to me.
No, no.
Now, what if I tell you, if that person is punished
Yeah.
by killing him in the eyes, with the eyes of the law, by taking his life away or her life away, the criminal, so the person suffers.
The
Would
person.
would that be okay?
Yeah.
So even if you were to kill that individual
Yeah, yeah.
as a just retribution,
Yeah.
you don't have a problem with that,
No, no, I have no.
right? What is worse, chopping off the hands or killing an individual?
I think it's both is the same. If you chopping hand is like
So you think
You-
killing
that's
killing an individual and chopping off the hands is the same suffering?
no, no, it's a bit different. We are talking about thief.
No,
You're
I'm
not
now
chopping
talking
hands.
about
Yeah.
killing an individual
Yeah, individual.
and chopping off the hands. Are they the same?
Almost, yeah, because we got two hands according to Quran. We should got two hands, yeah. Two hands.
So
is
if a
enough.
person who murders your mother
yeah, that's different.
and the punishment is chopping off the hands,
No, the punishment is death.
no, if I said the punishment is chopping off the hands, would you be okay with that? Or you say
No,
that's
no.
not enough?
Yeah, I say it's enough.
You said it's enough.
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah,
You said it's enough.
yeah. According, for example, this murder killed my mother. We cut his hands.
And if someone kills a whole community,
that's
would you say chopping off the hands is enough?
No, punish is dead.
Right. So you understand the severity.
Yes.
The severity of the crime requires punishment to be severe likewise. Yeah? Like for like. Right. When someone steals, when they have no need for stealing, They are provided with all the means not to steal. What does it tell you about that person?
Brother,
When someone kills someone when there's no need to kill, what does it tell you about that person?
brother, you are talking about this deep. Don't make so long this. We
No,
wanna
it's
finish only
under.
5
Look,
minutes.
look,
Yeah.
look.
Just finish
Let's-
it, you know.
it's not about just
What is
finishing
the-
it.
Yeah.
In Islam,
Yeah.
you can't just chop someone's hands just like that.
Very,
If you have a person,
yeah.
he is hungry and dying of starvation,
Yeah.
and goes to a shop and steals, do you think Islamic law will get this person's hands chopped off?
Islamic, today, of course not. But in the Quran is different. That's
No.
without explanation, you know.
If
they say
a
direct,
person,
yeah.
if a person
Yeah.
is dying of starvation, and to save his life or her life,
To steal, yeah.
steals,
It's
do,
good.
do you know that nowhere in Islamic law they can implement chopping of the hands?
Of course not, yeah. Today. Yeah.
No, not today.
Nobody
Anytime, anytime, anytime. In Islam, anytime. The hands will not be chopped off. Did you know that?
Because we change, you know.
Did you know that?
Majority of Muslim countries,
Ah,
they don't follow this.
Forget about
Only
Muslim
Saudi.
countries.
Not in
I am
that
not talking
condition.
about Muslim countries.
Yeah.
Imagine he's
Yep.
not starving.
I am. And excuse me, who came here to disturb me here again? Don't you have any shame?
Don't you have,
Don't
any,
you have any
shame?
respect?
Don't you have any shame?
I do not wish to speak to you. So have some good
Have some respect.
respect.
and obey me.
And bye-bye. So my friend.
Have some respect.
So, Muslim countries is not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I am talking about Islamic law that comes from Islamic sources. The Quran,
Yeah.
the Sunnah,
Yeah.
and the two other sources derived from the Quran and Sunnah. The consensus called ijma', and there is something called qiyas, analogical deduction. There are four sources of Islamic law. In Islamic law,
Yeah.
if a person were to steal in that situation, hands will never be chopped off. So you need to understand whose hands gets chopped off.
But there is no explanation, brother, as for the deaf, the male, and the female amputate their hands in the communities for what they committed. There is no explanation. Just
There is explanation.
you have to go to Hadith.
Where is the explanation of the Quran? Did the Prophet explain the Quran?
No, it's okay.
Hang on. You did not find the explanation. But I'm saying there is an explanation.
You mean Hadith?
Don't say you mean.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
there is an explanation, where can we find it?
Hadith.
We can find the explanation from the Prophet. Did the Prophet of Islam, who was given this Quran, did he explain it? Did his companions explain it? Who received the Quran from the Prophet? We know yes they did. And we have examples of how they did not punish individuals when the conditions were not met. So conditions have to be met before punishment can be implemented. It's not like you, Tom, Dick and Harry, taking your law on your own hands and you implement Islamic punishment system. It's not like this. So Islamic system is such that the punishment system is linked with the severity of the crime. There are only a handful of crimes that requires severe fixed punishment. The rest of them are something what we call discretionary, according to the judge discretion, looking at the evidence, looking at the situation and so on. So you cannot simply say, when the Quran says, cut the hands of the thief,
Yeah.
it means that is illogical. I would say no. Look,
That's illogical.
this system
Yeah.
prevented theft better than the system that you have today. The Islamic system prevented the crime of stealing better than the system that we have today, putting them in prisons. It's a history which is the evidence for it. When Islam was implemented, people during the time of prayer, when the call of prayer was heard, Allahu Akbar, Do you know what they did? They would just draw a curtain on their table of merchandise. They didn't have to put the shutter and lock with lock and key. They would leave it and they will go to the masjid and they will come back and still the same. What gave them the confidence and the comfort and the understanding with what we call the tranquility in their heart that people are... Wait, my friend, it's very important for you to reflect. What gave them the reassurance in their heart, the tranquility that their merchandise that they're leaving unattended will still be as they left it, not stolen. This happened in Islamic lands when Islam was implemented for a long time. Do you know
Even
why?
I saw in my eyes, brother. In Afghanistan, the time of Taliban was the same. Cannot still, Taliban.
So why is this? Because they had the teaching of Islam and they knew that if someone steals out of no necessity, your hand's gonna get chopped off. What are you gonna do without your hands? You will live a miserable life. So that is why this worked as a very powerful deterrent. In crime and punishment system, there is always an element what we call deterrent. Deterrent. Does it deter, stop people from committing this crime?
No.
If let me give you an example. You will perfectly understand it. Imagine we live in a country and the punishment for murder is $20. Do you think in that country the crime of murder will increase or decrease?
Increase, of course.
It will increase. Because if someone's got $30, he will say, I can get away with one murder. Easy, $20, no problem.
Brother.
So, did this punishment act as a deterrent?
I know this punishment is very harsh, it's very hard, it's block your brain.
Wait.
It's not good, of course.
Let's
not
understand
good,
that.
That's block your brain, people always scared.
So, did this punishment
It's
of
not good, of
$20 fine for a murder act as a deterrent?
Of course, yeah.
It didn't. It is not going to stop people from committing murder because they know the punishment is something that is nothing.
No,
If
brother.
someone has £100, he can get away with 5 murders.
I
So-
told
so-
this young man, this law was for 7th, 8th century, not for today.
Listen.
Not
The
for
Islamic
today,
punishment
Yeah.
system stops crimes happening in society. And you said you've seen it yourself. I am saying you may consider this is harsh. And I agree with you it's harsh.
Yes.
The harshness is intended. The harshness is intentional. The punishment needs to be in line with the severity of the crime. If the crime is murder, the punishment shouldn't be $20 fine only. It is not like for like. So, is there anything else that you found in the Quran that you consider with your logic that it's impossible, it could be from God?
Yeah, there's a lot of.
Share with us something.
For example, why God talk about Christianity? Why Allah talk about Christianity?
Sure.
He should say only about direct about Quran. This is my religion, not about these people, about
Sure.
that.
Yeah. Now imagine you are a Christian
Yeah.
and God didn't say anything about your religion, about your prophet whatsoever. You will then say and ask, does not God know anything about the belief that was there for centuries, that was happened and so on and so forth? You can equally raise this question. What I am saying instead is this. Christianity is not something ahistorical. It happened in history. But what happened is a corruption of the original message of Christ. The Quran testifies of the truthfulness of his message and falsifies of the errors that has been introduced in the message of Christ. The Quran acts as a quality control, tells them, the Jews and the Christians, the pagans and the atheists and the people who are polytheists, it tells them, interacts with them.
No, Allah
Why?
can guide these
Why?
people.
Why? Because the Quran addresses them too.
According to Quran, Allah can guide these people, you know. Allah can guide you, Allah can guide me.
But
Allah
Allah guides infallibly through his prophets and messengers, through the guidance that he sends through them. If Allah wanted, he could personally guide me, he could personally guide you, he can personally guide everyone.
Why
Right.
he don't
But
guide these
look,
people, why?
but what are you to deserve his personal guidance?
Deserves to guide me about.
No. What are you? Out of all these people, out of all this creation, that you deserve to be personally guided.
No, I want
Who are you or what are you?
No,
Who am I
for
or what
everybody.
am I? So God, in his mercy and justice, he doesn't leave to people's own thoughts and speculation. Because imagine, I say, you know what? God told me that you have to follow me, whatever I say. Would you believe me and accept me? No. Exactly. Even if I was guided, you would not follow me. You would want your personal guidance. And people with their personal guidance, they have difference of understanding. A Hindu comes along and says, God has revealed to me. Olumba there tells you that God has revealed to him. So that is why God has given us an objective way of receiving that guidance and assessing that guidance and verifying that guidance by sending a prophet and messenger with the scripture, with the guidance and the evidence for that guidance. Did you know that the Quran comes with its own evidence for the guidance?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And one more question.
Yes.
Allah can help you? Allah can help me?
Yeah.
How?
How? Allah can respond to your call whether you're a believer or a disbeliever. He can respond to you. He can answer your prayers. But what
No,
we
I
are...
don't think. Look, for example, I
So
will
you
give
have no prayers in your life answered?
No, of course. For example, Yemeni people really, they need help urgent. They are suffering a lot. They are starving. They really, they need help. Allah cannot help them. Palestinian people.
No, don't say
for
Allah cannot help them.
Yeah.
Because what you're misunderstanding is this. You think
Yeah.
God, Allah, Khuda,
Yeah.
has to intervene in
Yes.
everything.
Yeah.
Then people will have no choice. If Allah, Khuda, were to intervene in every human actions of suffering,
Yeah.
people will have no choice whatsoever. There will be no choice. You'll be like, you should have been better than, instead of a human being, a robot. People will have no choice to commit any evil or bad. But you will say, why didn't God intervene? Why didn't God stop the murderer? Why didn't God stop the rapist? What we are saying is, God, Khuda, has given us free will. And He takes us and makes us responsible for using that free will. If He intervenes, then we have no free will. Do you believe you have free will? Do you believe you have free will?
No, it's better without crime. Allah.
But do you believe you have free will?
Oh, I cannot say.
Are you
of course,
forced?
Yeah.
You have free will.
Yeah.
No one is forcing you to stop here to speak to me. If there is free will, there will be some people who will abuse it. If God were to stop this abuse of free will, then that person has no free will.
Yes, brother.
That is why evil and suffering in this world exists, partly because people are abusing their free will. We have created holes in the ozone layer, and then people have skin cancer. We are to blame. We put a lot of chemicals in the chicken feeds they eat, and they pass on in their eggs and so on, and then we get all these problems. I'm giving you some examples. in the foods that we eat, in the drinks that we consume, in the air that we breathe, the water that we drink. Pollution everywhere, whether it's man-made or something that, it's just there, but it is because of our own pollution that is affecting it. We are responsible in many ways. If you consider that God should, Khuda should stop everything,
Stop, of course, in my
then
stop the shooting,
then
kill criminal,
then
kill
they
Israel. Yeah.
then what you're
those
asking
criminal,
for
yeah.
is
I
God.
ask Allah to
No, what you are saying is
yeah,
Khuda should have given no free will.
yeah, that's different.
But
yeah,
but Khuda has created us
free.
with a free will for a purpose, to see who among us can use this free will appropriately, justly, in a nice, kind, compassionate, just, merciful way, or abuse it wrongly. This is the test.
One last question. There is 7 billion people lives in the world, yeah? 7 billion and a half, yeah? And nobody seen the shaitan. We call shaitan all the people. They say there is no shaitan, brother. Why they are deceiving? There is zero shaitan,
Have you seen Gravity?
Gravity.
Watch.
Yeah, yeah, I
watch.
know, I
No.
know.
Watch. Put your hands on there.
Yeah.
Watch.
Yeah.
Why did it fall?
Yeah, because there is oxygen.
No,
The
not because of
gravity,
oxygen. Gravity. Did you see Gravity? What color is it?
No, I haven't seen.
You haven't seen it.
No.
So even though you don't see it, it could exist. Has anyone seen it?
That's
8 billion people. Has
Yeah.
anyone seen Gravity?
Yeah, no.
No, but it could exist still, yeah?
Yeah, the
Do you see your logic?
The
Do you see the logic?
gravity.
Just because people haven't seen Shaitan,
Yeah, shaitan. There is no shaitan.
there is no gravity, my friend.
Yes, there is. You see, if you go to the moon,
No, you didn't
there is
see-
no gravity. Yeah?
No. You did. What color is it?
No, of course not. Gravity.
So what? So you haven't seen it.
No,
Have you tasted it? Have you felt it? Does it
this
smell?
gravity, no.
Right. So you have no 5 senses to say it's gravity. What you've seen, rather, is the effect of it. The effect. Yeah? What you've seen is an effect.
Yeah.
You haven't seen the gravity itself.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
We see
But
the
I
effects of
know this.
shaitan. Many people that came here heckling, I say these are the shayateen.
No.
No. You may disagree. Yeah. So these are shayateen working among them, right? So you may not see shaitan in them, but this is what I consider. Shaitan coming and tell them to interrupt my meeting. Every time I speak, they come to my meeting to heckle, to interrupt.
Yeah, you can say negative, but
No, it's not negative. There are few individuals here, they have devoted their life to heckle me.
Shaitan,
Yeah, to heckle me. Right. I say they have been sold to Shaitan. Shaitan has bought their lives, and that's why they're doing this. So you don't have to see Shaitan, you can see the effects of Shaitan.
no, according to
You can see the effects.
no, I don't think.
Some
Yeah,
people-
but that's negative, bro.
It's not
That's
negative, the effects. So what we say is, just because you can't see something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. There are many things,
Gene
many
Shaitan
things.
doesn't exist.
No, there are many things. Gravity doesn't exist either.
Yeah, but you can see if you go to Mars, there is no gravity.
No, you don't see gravity there either. When you go to the moon, you don't see gravity.
Of course not.
Yeah, you don't see. So you haven't seen here, you haven't
Yeah.
seen there.
No, I see.
No, you haven't seen
Yeah,
gravity. No, you've seen the
that's what I
effect.
saw,
Effect. The action of gravity, you've seen.
Yeah.
The action. Yep. When you blow a balloon, you see the action of the air
Yeah.
being put into it. But you don't see the air. Can you see the air?
No, of course not.
But does it exist?
Yeah, exists, yeah.
Right. So when you blow a balloon, you know it's there. Even though you can't see it with your own eye. You know it's there. Yeah? So just because you can't see something, it doesn't mean it is not there. Just because people don't see Allah, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah? So we need to understand that our logic
Our logic, yeah.
has a limitation. We need to understand the limitations of logic and know when we should surrender and submit to revelation. Yes, use your logic to verify which is the revelation guidance from God. Verify it. If a book says God is a potato, God is a tomato, God is a woman, God is a man, God is a monkey, you can use your logic and say, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I agree with you. But there's a limit to how much we can use our logic. That's why the revelation, the scripture, stops us where we need to stop our speculation. And then we can say, yes, I now have conviction, certainty that this is from God. The Quran, we Muslims have conviction because we know the Quran cannot be from any other than God. It cannot be produced by any human being or the jinns together if they even wanted to. No one can bring something like the Quran as the Quran says. Quran says there are no contradictions within it, no errors within it. People say there is. I've been coming here in this park long enough to discuss this very subject, to show to them that what you consider to be error, what you consider to be contradiction, falls flat. It doesn't hold any ground or any water. It doesn't stand up to scrutiny. So if the Quran remains a book that is, no one can produce a chapter, a surah like unto the Quran, this is a living evidence for the divine origin of the Quran.
Brother, the Quran, there is a lot of contradiction, is mixed, repetition.
When you say there is, share with us, and I will explain to you as best of my capacity.
Yeah, but
He believed different aqidah because the
No,
Shia, this is the problem.
No, he's not a Shia. Are you saying you're Shia?
yes, of course.
Yes.
Yes.
What is a Shia?
What do you mean?
No, he's,
That's a Muslim.
no. You said you don't believe in the Prophet Muhammad as a messenger of God. You said earlier. So you're not a Shia.
No, of course. I say I have this doubt. I am Muslim. I am very good. I am supporting
but
Muslim.
if you
but I have
believe-
this doubt. Yeah.
It's okay to have doubts.
Yes,
It's okay to have doubts. But we can remove those doubts by bringing facts.
Yeah, that's good.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That's
when
good.
you have doubts,
But a lot of Muslims say, I say this is, for example, the cutting hands, that is not good for today. Oh, you are kafir. You are out of Islam. I have doubt. I'm Muslim.
people
but
may
I
have
doubt, yeah.
their opinions.
Yeah.
If you have doubt, I'm saying it's no problem with that.
Yeah,
People
yeah,
can have doubts.
I have
But
doubt. I'm Muslim.
the solution to the doubts is acquiring knowledge to
Yeah,
repel
knowledge.
those doubts.
Yeah, I
so
study
the
hard.
purpose of our discussion or engagement in this discussion is to go through some of these doubts to show to you that these doubts can be easily removed.
Yeah, that's good.
Easily removed.
Yeah, I
So
study
so
hard.
and then you can build up your iman, your
Yeah.
strong foundation of faith, and then you can say, look, now I don't have doubts, and my faith is strong in the Quran.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So that's what you have to do.
I will read more Quran. I will. Yeah, inshallah, I will read more. I will read more hadith or any book every week, every day. Maybe. This
Question:
doubt will be
ask
more,
people of knowledge
Yeah.
if you have any questions or any doubts.
I will
Yeah, and then you'll see how your iman, your faith,
Yeah.
strengthens, becomes stronger and
Maybe.
stronger and stronger. No, not maybe.
Yeah, because
It is a simple formula. When the doubts are removed,
yeah.
the more the doubts removes, the stronger and stronger the faith goes on the scale. Yeah?
But now I have a lot of doubt because when I was 20 years, I had doubt this which kind of God we have. He is like us, he's like tree. I don't know about God, but when I read more this.
Yeah. The more you discuss, more you learn, you will see these things can be filtered, and eventually you will come back to the pure Islam that you already have, but you just need some clarification.
Yeah.
Is that okay, my brother?
Thank you. I don't waste your time. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Hope this video was helpful for you. This may help others too, so please consider sharing, and we will bring more videos in the future, inshallah. So consider subscribing and you won't miss any. Jazakallahu khairan.